Let's continue with example number 4. First, we need to decide if this is an exponential growth or an exponential decay. To find out if it's an exponential growth or decay, I look at the exponent. This exponent is negative. That means that it's going to be an exponential decay. But because the negative is on the front, the graph will be flipped. So your graph should look something like this. Let's go and make a little sketch so we remember what the graph should look like. Exponential decay looks something like this, but because it's negative on the front, it'll be flipped. Now let's go ahead and start graphing. We're going to graph part of it. Now, be careful, that negative 2 is not your h. There's no h. So whenever you shift it, that will be 0, comma, and positive 1. The negative 2 is not h. You'll have to say negative 2x plus 4 or negative 2x plus or minus a number. We are going to graph part of it, or just the basic part, negative e to the negative 2x. I'm going to let x equal to 0, and I'm going to plug in 0 instead of the x. Instead of the x will be a 0. Now, negative 2 times 0 is 0. Anything to the 0 is just 1. So that means that y is equal to negative 1. That will give me my first point. If x is 0, my y value is negative 1. And I'm going to go ahead and plot it. I need to find another point, so let x is equal to 1. Y is equal to negative e, negative 2. Instead of that, x will be a 1. That will give me y is equal to negative 2. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And that gives me. So negative e to the negative 2. Right? Now we have a problem. When we have a negative exponent, we are going to have to go through the whole process of bringing it down and then doing the long division that I'm sure all of you guys enjoy working out. It's not a difficult process, but we can avoid having a negative exponent. So how can I not have a negative exponent? What can I do to make this a positive 2? Correct. I can plug in a negative number, a negative 1, so negative and negative becomes a positive. And that will make a much easier process, because y is equal to negative, instead of the u will be 2.7 to the second power. 2.7 times 2.7, we remember that from the backside that was negative 7.29. So if my x value is negative 1, my y value is negative 7.29. Remember that by just plugging a negative number, when this is negative, that makes it positive, makes it much easier. If you want to plug in a negative number, just a 1 is fine, but then you have to go through the whole division, and this will be a very small number. Either way will be fine. So let's go and plot it. Negative 1 and negative 2, negative 1 for the x, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0.29, which is over here. Now, I'm going to have to shift it. Remember that your asymptote is going to be 1. The equation is y is equal to 1. And now I can shift it. Each point will not be shifted right or left, but will be shifted up. Up 1, and this will be shifted up 1. I'm going to get rid of my old points. I'm going to erase them. And now I can go ahead and graph them. Remember that your graph had to look something like this, an exponential decay but flipped. Let's work on the last one. I want to be able to graph this. First, we need to decide if that's going to be an exponential growth or decay. I look at the exponent, only at the exponent. It doesn't matter if there's a negative 1 to the right. The x is positive, so that means it's going to be an exponential growth. Do I need to flip it? No. Only if that's a negative do I need to flip it. So your graph should look something like this. So your graph should look something like this. Let's go and graph the basic part. Why don't you pause it, see if you guys can do it by yourself, and then you can check your answer. Pause it. Great. So we're going to graph the basic part. We're going to leave the h and the k behind. Y is equal to 2e to the x power. So now I'm going to find different points. I'm going to let x equal to 0. That'll be y is equal to 2e to the 0 power. That'll be y is equal to, remember, anything to the 0 power is just 1. So y is equal to 2. That will give me my first point. If the x is 0, my corresponding y value will be 2. So 0, 2 is over here. Now, I'm going to let x equal to, you can decide to plug in any numbers. But remember, because it's an exponential growth, if you plug in a 5, that's going to give you a very large number. It's easier to plug in 0 and 1, or in the case that on the previous example, the exponent is negative, plug in 0 and negative 1. So y is equal to 2e to the 1 power. Y is equal to 2. E to the 1 is just 2.7. Y is equal to 5.4. So if my x value is 1, my y value is 5.4. X value is 1, my y value is 2, 4, 5.4. Now I'm going to deal with my shift. My shift will be positive 1, remember your h is the opposite, and negative 3. So each point will be moved to the right 1 and down 3. To the right 1 and down 3. To the right 1 and 1, 2, 3. Now my asymptote will be shifted down negative 3, should be matching that number. Y is equal to negative. It's going to be an exponential growth. I'm going to get rid of my previous points. And that'll be my function. So please email me if you have any questions. Have a great day, and thanks for your time.